Hello, the story I have for you today is called A is for Africa. It is by Ifeoma Onyefulu. I love this book because it helped me learn so many things about Africa I didn't know before, and I hope that you learned something too. This book has real-life pictures in it. A is for Africa. And the author writes that she is from the Igbo tribe and grew up in southeastern Nigeria. So this is the continent of Africa. This is Nigeria, the country where she is from. A is for Africa, a great continent of many countries and peoples. The African people come from large families called tribes. They may dress differently and speak different languages, but Africa is home to them all. B is for the beads a girl may wear on her head, ears, or neck. They come in lots of different shapes, sizes, and colors: red, green, blue, and yellow. Look at those beautiful beads. C is for a canoe to paddle down the river. Canoes are used for fishing and carrying goods to market. People may visit their friends or take their children to school by canoe. There are lots of big rivers in Africa, so many people use canoes. D is for the drums used to make music and announce special meetings and important news in many villages. When a newborn baby is named, relatives and friends may welcome her or him into the world with the sound of drums. E is the embrace we give our loved ones. Africans are very warm people, and this is how they welcome relatives and friends. They embrace to show their happiness and give each other support. Dancers embrace at the end of a performance. An embrace is another word for a hug. And F is for feathers that a chief wears on his hat. Hats and feathers are handed down from father to son. When the son reaches middle age, that's like an older grown-up. This Igbo chief's feathers are from the eagle. In this tribe, women can be chiefs too, but they don't wear feathers. That's so special. G is for grandmother, telling wonderful stories about animals and people that lived long ago. She is a very special person in family life. Do you know your grandmother? Does she tell you stories? H is for mud houses just right for a hot climate. Most places in Africa are hot during the day and cool at night. In the daytime, the mud walls keep out the hot sunshine. At night, the mud bricks release the heat they have absorbed during the day and warm the inside of the house. That's so smart. So that their house stays nice and cool during the day and nice and warm at night. I is for indigo, a blue powder from the indigo plant that is used to dye clothes. A good way to dye cloth is to leave it to soak in a mixture of powder and water in a very deep hole in the ground. Letting the cloth dry in the open air helps set the color. Indigo is this kind of bluish purple color, and the dye, the way that they make fabric, that color, is from the indigo plant in Africa. It's very special. For a long time, they were the only people who knew how to do that. J is for jumping with other children in the village. In the evenings when the sun is setting, children gather to play. Jumping over sticks is a favorite game. Have you played a game like that ever? K is for kola nuts offered to guests to show warmth and friendship. The nuts grow in pods on tall trees, and they keep well after they have been picked. In many parts of Africa, on an important occasion, old men and women may say prayers, and the oldest man present breaks the kola nuts. There's the kola nuts. And L is for lamps. Some homemade lamps are made of clay, but these are used milk tins. They have wicks to burn oil, paraffin, or kerosene. So look, they use an old tin to make a lamp to help them see at night. M is for masquerade, a mask and costume made to honor the spirit of an ancestor. An ancestor is a person in your family who lived long ago. They are sacred objects brought out only for special occasions. The artist chosen to make masquerades spend months designing them before they show them in public. And it's big. Do you see the person's feet? This is their whole body almost is covered by this. Look at how beautiful that is. That must have taken a long time to make. N is for neighbors, passing on the latest news. In many places in Africa, people wear these beautiful bright colored clothes. Have you ever seen somebody wearing that? And O is for ornaments to adorn our bodies. African people love to dress up and look beautiful. In some tribes, people wear beaded strands around their waist or across their chest. Body markings are another kind of ornament. So look, these girls have these special beaded strands. And if you look closely, they have some marks on their faces and on their bodies. Those are another special way of dressing up. Sometimes when you get older, you might see people with tattoos. In some places, tattoos are just different like pieces of art, but in some places they mean special things. If you have a certain tattoo, that means something about you, and it's like a special marking. P is for earthenware pots for storing water and keeping it cool. They give the water a fresh, earthy taste. Women sometimes use a pot as a musical instrument, beating it to give out a very deep sound. Look at those huge pots. Somebody made those. Q is for queen, wearing her crown and splendid jewelry. Not so long ago, there were lots of powerful kings and queens in Africa, but nowadays there are only a few. Look at that beautiful queen with her crown. So there used to be many, many powerful kingdoms in Africa a long time ago before white people came to Africa, and they had universities and they had traded a lot and they were very good kingdoms. But unfortunately, when the white people came to Africa, they took those kingdoms apart and they destroyed them so they could be in charge. R is for river. Africans believe many rivers are sacred. In villages, they take care to keep their river clean, and they set aside special areas for fishing, washing, and swimming. S is for shaking hands. Children and grown-ups shake hands when they meet friends or relatives. When two Igbo chiefs shake hands, they use the back of their hand, not the front, to show how important they are. Young men and women raise and clasp hands with their friends at big gatherings. So look, people shake hands when they meet. These are the chiefs. They touch the backs of their hands. This is when friends meet. T is for turban. A Muslim man may wear this special turban if he is very knowledgeable about the Islamic religion and has visited Mecca, the holy center of Islam. Women may also wear turbans to help them carry heavy loads on their heads. That's a turban that a Muslim man is wearing. A Muslim is somebody who follows the religion of Islam. That means that he has learned a lot about his religion and he's visited a very special holy place called Mecca. Some women you might see wear turbans to carry things on their head. If you like that, that helps their head not to hurt. U is for umbrella, even better than a big leaf for giving shelter from the hot sun. A mother may use an umbrella to shade a new baby, and market traders will use one to keep their goods from wilting in the sun. See the baby tied on her back? V is for the village, where many people live together, sharing the same traditions and beliefs. The old people in the village teach the young ones the old customs, as they were once taught themselves. Customs are ways of doing things. So it might be a custom like when A custom could be, what do you do on your birthday? It might be a custom in your family to have a cake and sing happy birthday, but not all families would do that. Or it might be a custom to go to a special place when you have a celebration. And you learn that from the older people in your family. Do you have any customs in your family? W is for weaving. Some tribes weave their own fabric from locally produced cotton. Parents teach the craft to their children. Each region has its own story of how weaving began. So, when people grow cotton, cotton's a little plant, and then they make it into this like fabric, this yarn, and then they put it on this big machine called a loom and they weave it. Clothes are made out of cotton, so they had to grow the plant and then take it and make it into kind of the yarn and then put it on this machine and weave it back and forth and then dye it just for clothes. It takes a lot of work to make clothes. X is for the xylophone many villages use in their music. It is made from wood that gives a beautiful sound. Each key is a different length and makes a different note when the player strikes it. There's a xylophone. Have you ever heard a xylophone before? And Y is for yams that grow in our gardens. They're like potatoes, but yams are bigger and take longer to grow. We boil yams or roast them and eat them with palm oil. Either way, they are delicious. One kind of yam is a sweet potato. Have you ever had that? Z is the rough zigzag lane leading to my village. And that's the end. I hope you liked this book. Did you learn something new about the continent of Africa? I'll read to you later.